What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stand a little taller. Doesn't mean I'm lonely when I'm alone. What doesn't kill you makes a fighter. Footsteps even lighter. Doesn't mean I'm over, 'cause you're gone. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming by, and we are so happy to have you here. I'm Emilie DeAngelo, Balancing Active Life, and what we do with the Balancing Active Life is bring you many different experts, excuse me there, because I was going to get the words experts and aspects messed up a little bit there, but we bring you experts and people that are experienced in all aspects of your life. So if you're dealing with financial issues, toxic relationships, just bad living all around, that's what we're here for. Not only do we provide you with low asset living, we are giving you balanced. And today we have our special guest, our regular guest, Dr. Wayne, and he has a fabulous autumn time breakfast for us. And I especially want to hear all about this. Hi, Dr. Wayne.
Hey, Emily, good morning to you. Good afternoon, wherever they are in the world watching. Hey, listen, all that you're doing for this balancing active life is so commendable, because it's true. We have 4 systems that we have developed. One is living abundantly. The other is how to get well and stay well for life. The other is your mission is nutrition. And the other one is beat your stress. And we have so much that we're going to bring to the table for all of the viewers here. But right now, what I'd like to do is welcome everybody to the monthly food combining recipes for optimal digestion. What we want to do is when we feed ourselves, we want the food going in the mouth and out the rectum with perfect harmony. There's 30 feet here, and there are 4 places where food breaks down. First of all, nutrition is it's a science, and it never changes. It's how we apply it that changes. And it just doesn't heal, it doesn't cure, it doesn't do any of that stuff. All it does is supply the body with what materials the body needs to move on our daily lives to where we can get older and better and not old and bitter. I say this, we're all on the road to death. There's just no need to jump out there in the passing lane. So what we want to do is to make sure that everything that we're eating has the best chance of optimal digestion. Now you get 2 kinds of digestion. You've got mechanical, that's the chewing, it's the churning, it's the chewing and then the movement of the food through the intestinal tract, you see, like so, and moving through, that's called peristaltic action, and moves all the way through. Okay, that's the same with everybody. And you know what? I don't care if you were born 1,000 years ago or you're going to be born 100 years from now, you will digest food exactly the same way. That's exactly what you have been designed to do, and it doesn't change. That's the nice thing about what we do. It's all the time. So now you've got the chemical portion of digestion. You've got, well, first of all, there's 4 places where food breaks down: the mouth, the stomach, the duodenum, the jejunum. And so this is number 1. There are 4 places where, 4 processes rather, that the body employs to make food materials for the body to use. And here they are. The food has to break down. Then it gets into the bloodstream. Now the body uses it. And then it gets rid of it. It's called digestion, absorption, assimilation, elimination. So the one that we have the most say-so about is number 1, the digestive portion of it. How do we feed ourselves so that everything we eat stands the best chance of digesting? Emily and I are going to come back, and we're going to be doing a phenomenal presentation on just food combining and understanding how you get it done. If you're tired of heartburn, gas, indigestion, GERD, acid reflux, excessive weight gain, we're going to show you how to rise above that. Not counting calories, not weighing this, not measuring that. Get away from all that. Eat good stuff. You'll always be tough. And if something is insane, we know that's not being sane. It's just out of whack. If something is inharmonious, we know it's not harmonious. If something is indigesting, that doesn't mean it's halfway digesting. It's not digesting. So what happens? It throws the body in a constant state of turmoil. And when you watch our presentation on food combining, A to Z, you're going to know precisely how you're designed to eat. And not because it's the fad diet, or not because of this, because of that. We've been in the business, October the 2nd this year, it'll be exactly 40 years. We're in 37 countries with this piece of work, plus all of the other 100 publications that we produced. But this one here is the root of everything we do. Now, there are 5 components to a healthy nutrition plan. Number 1, you need to eat foods when they're in season. And when you look here at the food combining guide, you're going to see when every one of those foods are in season, right here. Because this is where your focus will be. All of the rest of this food combining guide supports this. Because we want to digest food optimally every time we eat. So the first one is when they're in season. Number 2, according to the type of activity you're involved in. Number 3, if it can grow in your type of environment. Number 4, eat more raw than cooked. Always bear in mind, if it's not fit raw, it's worse yet cooked. So it's at the highest point of nutrition in its raw state. So, I mean, grains that have to be cooked. There's some other things that have to be cooked, of course. But the bulk of what we eat should be eating, it can be eaten raw, is where I was going with that. Okay, and the 5th and very important one is in a compatible combination with your body's digestive chemistry, respecting the acid-alkaline balance. And all of the different foods that's in the food combining guide shows you what is acid or alkaline forming within the body. Now, what does that mean, really? All food has acid minerals, alkaline minerals. And whatever they yield, whatever they're most abundant in, determines the classification if they're acid or alkaline. Now, with that said, once we get this down, we got 4 seasons of life, so we need to eat food in season. There are 4 seasons. You've got the winter, spring, summer, fall. And they all have a specific purpose to them, and they begin with the letter P. The winter is the planting time. The spring is the planting time. The summer is the promotion time. And the fall is the production time. We need to change our food intake per season, our entrepreneurial side of our lives per season, the fitness per season, and primarily one of the reasons why I like to do that keeps me from getting bored. From April 1st to November 1st, I do a little workout here in my home gym. I have 5 places in my home that we do a workout, and I only do about 15 or 20 minutes. Then on those 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I get down to the end of my street, go to the beach, and stretch for about an hour. And then I'll go ahead and swim. Monday, half a mile. Tuesday is a mile. Thursday is a mile and a half. And Friday is 2 miles. Now, I say that because I don't do that in the winter. But in the summer, in those months that I was telling you about, April 1st to November 1st, on Wednesday and Sunday is when I do my 25 to 40 mile bike ride with a little jump rope material, and I hit the beach and do some pull-ups and that kind of thing. You got to keep fit. You got to be fit. When you're through moving, you're through. But here's the interesting fact. Being fit is about 20% activity and 80% in the kitchen. So let's you and me go in the kitchen and let's start preparing some great recipes.
I caught a load of Dr. Wayne's refrigerator here, and I wanted you to see that because my refrigerator is very similar to this. I don't have bologna and crap and stuff in there. We have whole foods, vegetables, fruits. As you can see, Dr. Wayne's. Go ahead, Dr. Wayne. Tell them a little bit there what's going on in your refrigerator now that I caught you.
Okay. All right. What I try to do is I have 2 refrigerators. I don't see how a family, Emily, of 4 can live out of 1 refrigerator. I'm single here, and I have 2 refrigerators, and they're stocked full. There's a lot of plastic around some of the food here that I have because I want to keep them fresher longer. I'm going to be showing you when we're preparing vegetables and everything. And we're going to have an endurance sandwich here coming up here real soon. You're going to love that. That is exceptional. But,
Good, good. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward.
Yeah.
So that's the
Okay.
insight to Dr. Wayne's refrigerator. Now that we're out of Dr. Wayne's refrigerator, he's got himself all ready to go with his nice autumn recipe. I'm looking forward. Here you go, Dr. Wayne. You're up.
Thank you very much, Emily. I was picking up a couple of the things that fell on the floor a minute ago, so I appreciate that. Thank you. Listen, I want to make something today for us that's going to be phenomenal. Now, a little while ago, I mentioned the difference between high and low, or I should say high and low glycemic index. Remember me saying that?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay, there are high glycemic, and usually in my discovery, most of the high glycemic that burns out real quick in your body, like watermelon, bananas, all of those kind of things will. I've done 50 triathlons, and at the end of every race, they always have a bunch of things to replenish your energy, and a couple of them are always melons and bananas and stuff because they're high glycemic. Okay, with that said, the low glycemic is like a log in the fireplace to where it gives off a lot of heat and for a long duration, whereas lighter fluid in the right hand, which would be high glycemic, you strike a match to it, burns real fast, burns real quick, and burns out real quick. Okay, well, the reason I'm bringing that portion of it up, there are 4 categories of low glycemic energy-giving foods. One of them is all of the core fruit. That would be like apples, pears, that kind of thing. You've also got the citrus. You got all of the berries and all of the stone fruits. Those are low glycemic. What do I mean by stone fruits? I mean peaches, plums, nectarines, apricots, cherries. And notice every one of those are in different seasons at different times. We're going to make a recipe today that's a very low glycemic index. And here's what we're going to do, Emily. We're going to go ahead and it's called our apple pear sauce. And it's very quick, very easy to do. And it is absolutely delicious. And this is an easy recipe for those people who are living in warmer climates, or I shouldn't say warmer, but colder northern climates. And because primarily they grow up in there. But you know, also, I mentioned to you today, or one of our previous shows, I should say, that the 5,000 varieties of mangoes. Another thing to consider about the high and the low glycemic index. Always before any activity that you're involved in, have a low glycemic and try to have all of the energy gaining foods at the beginning and through the day. And you've got 2 kinds. You've got your fruit and you've got your starches. Yams, carrots, rice. If you're going to eat bread, then I only eat millet bread, okay? But those are our energy gaining and not energy draining foods. So you've got 2 kinds. You've got the low glycemic and the high glycemic. The low glycemic I always have before an event because it gives me energy longer. The one recipe that we made you on the tropical smoothie, the ultimate tropical smoothie, that was a low glycemic. So I would have that before an event, and after the event, I would have something that's high. Our banana dana on our recipe guide is phenomenal. And I would have that after the event because it's a high glycemic. Even though I start the day with that melon out drink, I'm going to be having within an hour or so. You know what I like about that melon out drink too, by the way? If you're having any trouble with eliminating bowel issues or what have you, you'll have that, and within an hour, you'll be in the bathroom. Guaranteed. But it's not a flush through you. It just allows you to open up and just get rid of what your body is trying to get rid of. And eventually, if you're having those kind of issues, especially people who are overweight, there's a lot of issues there as well. So the whole point I'm making is, I have that first melon out drink in the morning, And when I come home, and well, excuse me, now, let's say I want to go do the activity. I have that in the morning when I first wake up around 6 o'clock, 6:15, 6:30, around that time, because I make enough for 6 days. And they're in the coldest part of the refrigerator, so that way they don't oxidize as rapidly if they were just left out. So anyway, I have that first. I go out around the block, I walk, I listen to the birds, I go into the sunrise, see the moon behind me, hear the birds, it's an orchestra, and that beautiful sunrise coming up. It's an awesome way to start the day. I will come back after I do my 70 push-ups, and I do that low glycemic ultimate tropical smoothie, or we have a lot of other ones we make, but that's one of them. When I go out and do the swim or any physical activity that's intense, when I come back, I'll always have a high glycemic. That would be one of our recipes on our recipe guide, or the CD-ROM that comes with our perfect diet program. And that would be high glycemic. That would be bananas, dates, raisins, that kind of thing. That would give me the energy I need. I'll get back here, go to work after I clean up and everything from the ocean water. Then I will go ahead and have my starch meal about an hour or so after that. And we're going to be fixing you some of those as we go along. What we're trying to do here is give you enough recipes that you can go through every day and to have more of a selection than just counting calories, measuring this, weighing that. To me, that's all nonsense. We need to be eating good stuff and forget about trying to weigh ourselves all the time and weigh portions, measure portions, count. That's foolhardy in my view. Okay, now with all that said, what I want to do right now is to prepare a fall recipe, fall anywhere between September and maybe December. You can have this recipe. It is absolutely delicious. It's low glycemic. I particularly like the Boss pears. One of my favorites that are very, very sweet. I've already washed all of these. And then, of course, I have 2 Gala apples, and they're very good, G-A-L-A. These are excellent apples. The Boss, B-O-S-C. Now, with that said, let's go to work here. And this is a very simple, easy process. I'll put my container in here because that's when I throw my scraps in. And I have a 5-gallon bucket that I empty in my compost after every time it gets about, let's say it's a 5-gallon, it gets this full. I just carry it out there and throw in the compost. Okay, let's do this. Let's take our blender and let's cut these apples down the middle. And you're going to have a core in the middle. So what you're going to do is you're going to just take and cut that out just like so. Let's get a few of them done. And this is so sweet. You'll be munching on these as you're doing them. But let's say you have some dental issues and you want to rise above that. An apple pear sauce like this will help immensely. That you don't have to be chewing and all of that so much. Well, you still have to chew. Everything that you consume, you need to salivate and mix, because in the first of the 4 places where food breaks down is the mouth. And when Emily and I come back and do a program for you on the acid-alkaline balance, you will understand how important it is to chew the food, and also for us to think good thoughts. Every time that we sit down to a dinner table, let's think good thoughts. Now, we're going to peel that stem end out of the Boss pear, and you're going to take your knife and get that little button out down the bottom. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Cut a few of these up like this. We're going to cut this down like that, like this, and just start cutting. And you're going to get down to the actual seeds, all right, down there. And we want to do this here and do that. Come this way. Now, we want to cut this so that we can get the core out of here, all the seeds and everything. We want to make this simple. I'm just taking my time here, trying to explain this to you, but I get this done in no time in the morning. When you do it as often as I have, then you'll see. Now, we take a pear, then the apple, then the pear, and the apple. Just cut this up in little thin slices like so, and you're going to have the finest pear applesauce within 15 seconds from the blender. I'm going to show you another little trick here in a second. Now, Emily, do you have any questions so far about this? Do you have any questions yet, Emily?
Well, actually, I have questions about, because I know you got the Devos pears, and I like the Bartlett.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
know there's a different type. Now, are the pears have different levels?
When you say different levels, no, they're all in the same glycemic index.
Okay.
They're low glycemic because they're a core fruit. Now we're going to take that stem end one time again. There it is. And we're going to take the bottom end and gut that out. And we want to cut them down like so. If you want, we can do it many different ways. We'll do this. And a lot of times what I'll do is I wouldn't blend everything together. I'll take a mandolin and just cut some of them on the top, some of the pieces on the top, and we'll have a little something to chew on that's a little bit more solid than the actual applesauce. I've made this recipe for more elderly people who are adamant about not eating fruit and all that. They talk about fruit has fructose in it. I said, you're right. Sugar cane is very, very nourishing for the body. It's the processed sugar that will eat you up, so to speak. You know.
Well, that's my argument about mineral salt. People are like, oh, salt's so bad. Yeah, the table salt that you see nowadays on the shelf, the processed salt, yes. But if you get actual like pink Himalayan mineral salt, or just, mineral salt that comes hard that you ground up, that it comes from natural, then that's not good. That's actually good for your digestive system. So yeah, people have to be educated, and that's what we're doing.
Yes, and I'll tell you what you said there is true. So now, fructose in fruit is extremely nourishing. And one of the things that I try to get all my clients to do is eat a lot of fibrous food. And when you eat the whole fruit, you have fiber in there, and it acts like a time release to where the pancreas just gets enough, just a little from the fiber. So fiber helps in the peristaltic action, but it also helps as a time release to where you're not getting so much sugar blast. Whereas the processed fructose in here, and that it has no fiber, that's one of the reasons I don't do juicing. I do blending, but I don't do juicing. Once in a while, I have some juice, like carrot juice or a little orange juice or something like that from time to time. But I always do it myself. I never buy it. Okay, Emily, with that said, look at this, darling. You've got 2 apples, 2 pears, and look what it did. Look how much that made. That's just 2 apples and 2 pears.
Wow.
Now, here's where this gets good. I have to take a little spoon thing to kind of mash it down. And I don't have any juice, nothing like that. We just put it in the blender, just like this. Now, please, watch your ears. You can hear it.
Now, does that come out really thick, or is that more of a juice?
What's that, Emily?
Is that now? Will this one come out really thick, or is it more of a thin juice?
Watch this. I'm I'm glad you asked. This is one of my very favorite ways to prepare apples and pears. Look at how this does. Doesn't that look tremendous? Can you see that okay, Emily?
Yeah, I can see it. Now what, that's good. So is that ice cold?
Yeah, well, yes. And I had put that in the refrigerator, those apples and those pears, before we decided to do this for you, okay?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Now, if you want to, you can sprinkle a little cinnamon on the top of that, and you've got yourself an incredible breakfast. When you eat this, you're going to go, wow, why didn't I think of that sooner? Let me say this. I only wish you were here so I could feed you.
Oh, it's beautiful. It looks good. You know, and I say this all the time. Everybody's looking for that magic pill or the magic way. As you say in your digestion, it's been the same way from the very beginning till it is now, and it will be for forever. Our digestive system and the things that you need to do, I mean, to keep from disease. You truly can live disease-free and healthy and be, as you know, as God created us to be, in our magnificence, because the body is such a beautiful, you know, mechanism of healing itself and giving such life. And the right food just gives you a whole different life. People don't realize the life. It's like, you know, I don't care where you live, but you can live like, your body can live like high society. You really can treat yourself right and get every benefit from that.
Yes, Emily, thank you for saying that. That was beautifully said. Let me tell you, there are 3 great lessons that I teach my audiences about your health. Number 1, you do not, cannot, never will catch disease. You earn it. You think if somebody comes up and coughs in your face that you're going to, sneezes in your face that you're going to cough up 2 quarts of phlegm? I don't think so. That comes from within. Louis Pasteur, who was the father of the germ theory, admitted on his deathbed, and this is for record, you can look this up, that he was wrong. He said, and here's some of his dying words, "It is not the virulence of the germ that determines the disease entity. It's the resistance of the host that determines the efficacy of the disease process." Now, what's all that mean? It's not the germ that causes the problem. It's our resistance, the level that we take care of ourselves along the way, that would determine the longevity of our lives. So you don't think that those people in New York City, back when the waste disposal strikes were on, that they looked around at everybody and they said, wow. And this is when the rats were 2 to 3 times to 1 person in New York City. They were incredible. You don't think those people sat around and said, wow, look at all the trash those rats brought. No. Look at all of the trash the rats brought. Look at all of the disease that the body manifests. The germ doesn't cause the disease. They're there to kind of do like the rats do with the trash. Eat it up, get rid of it. We don't catch disease. We earn it. And it stems from crud in the blood, from being drunk with junk. That's the first great lesson. Number 2, do you know they even took AIDS and took it off the dangerous list? I was watching a huge PBS special on that here one evening, and I was so pleased because people used to think that they actually catch AIDS. You don't think that over all those millions and millions of kids who are under 5 years old in Africa who have AIDS, you don't think they had sexual deviances. You don't think they had. It was a lifestyle. And they had less than the best to consume. They had stressful conditions. I mean, there's so many other elements in life that we have to deal with. There are 9 components for you to be totally healthy for life. And it's called a new start on life. Attitude, nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, tenacity, air, rest, and temperance in all we do. If we will embrace those, then we will be just healthy naturally and normally. So number 1, of the 3 lessons about your health, you never catch disease, you earn it. And it stems from crud in the blood, from being drunk with junk. Here's the second great lesson. Notice, Emily, if you cut yourself, what happens? You bleed, and then what happens again? You start healing, don't you? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're healthy automatically by design. And sick
Right.
only. Yes, as you indicated, that's why I brought this into the equation today. And so we're healthy automatically by design and sick only by default. And here's the third great lesson. You only get well. Remember, there's no food that heals. There's no drug that heals. There's no vitamin that heals. There's no medicine, no herb. Nothing heals. They may halt a disease process, but they will never heal. The body does the healing every time when you set the environment correctly. Curing comes from without, healing comes from within. Okay, with that said, we're healthy automatically by design and sick only by default. But the third lesson was we only get well by what comes out of us, never by what goes into us. That has saved my life and thousands of our clients over the years. We've been, October the 2nd this year, of 2017, we will have been in business for 40 years. The letters and the testimonials that we've had from people all over the world, if you came to our office and put all of those letters of testimonies and comments and everything in a box, chances are you'll never forget the energy you put into trying to move that box. So what Emily just said to you a little while ago about all we have to do is set the environment and we're healthy anyway, because that's what we're naturally designed. Would you agree, Emily?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, let me say this. In conclusion to all of this, we're not garbage dumps with hairy lids. This is our corporate headquarters. And we own 100% stock in a blue chip corporation. Quit selling your stock cheap. Put a high price tag on that stock. You know, I've done 50 triathlons. I've got at least 30 trophies, okay? I'm very blessed. Very, very blessed. I was a very sick, fat kid. I was supposed to die before I was 30. I just turned 70. I've never felt better in my life. I've never been busier. And let me say this too. If you will get older and better, the older you get, and the better you take care of your body, the more in demand you're going to be. I was amazed. Jack LaLanne was a very good friend of mine for many years. And when I called him on his 92nd or 3rd birthday, I forgot when that was, that I asked him where he was. He said he was in Kansas. I said, Jack, really? He said, yes, I've never been busier. Here he is, 90-some, and he's on the road speaking, and a man knows how to take care of himself. One of our commonalities that he and I both had for years was that one of our gurus in our lives was the great Paul Bragg, and he was his inspiration as Paul Bragg was my inspiration. So Jack and I had that commonality. When he was here in Daytona Beach, we met and we became very bonded for about 16, 17 years. It was wonderful. So anyway, the older you get and the better you take care of your body, the more in demand you're going to be. And you don't have to be saying, I'm 60, honey. Are you going to play golf? No, I'm going to play me some bingo, honey. And that's all you've got on your mind. When you hear some of the things that Emily and I are going to bring together about people, the way they just watch television, and their whole life is just going by. It's amazing. So we're not garbage dumps with hairy lids. You're special. You own 100% stock in a blue chip corporation. Quit selling your stock cheap. We're all on the road to death. Don't forget that. There's just no need to jump in and pass away. I want you to be eating good stuff, and you'll always be tired. Emily, thank you. I've enjoyed our time together this week.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wayne. Not only do we get recipes here, we get so much information balancing active life, because we are trying to help you get out of that brainwashed of what you see on TV and what you've been told, and get back to your basics, get back to your core. So as Dr. Wayne had said, we are going to be bringing to you so much. And this is why we are the Balancing Active Life, because the Balancing Active Life, you wear so many different hats, and my hats aren't the same as yours or Dr. Wayne's or Mary and Margaret's or Rebecca's and Roger and Luca at our wonderful TLBTV crew. We just all have different lives. And with that said, we're going to be trying to cover every aspect, everyone's life. So make sure you keep staying tuned with us so we can help you and bring you experts and bring you value, so you can say, stop, I want my life to be better, I want it to be balanced, and I want to get out of it every minute of what I came for, and that's happiness and fun and just love and just enjoying it. So
Yeah. Emily.
Balancing Active Life here at TLB TV. You'll be seeing Dr. Wayne and I, along with Mary Margaret, with so many things coming, so stay tuned. Talk soon, and please keep in mind that Dr. Wayne and I also have a Facebook page, Dr. Wayne and PH Gale. So we'll have our bundles of things, but you'll see that in our bio that comes along with this video. So again, thank you TLB, and look forward to seeing everybody and helping you with the Balancing Active Life. Take care. Bye-bye.